Oh, snaps. I didn't put the... There we go. We're having some technical difficulties today. Yeah, no. Those things happen. But maybe it's just the spookiness of October. Or maybe it's just some unlucky dwarves over here. Oh, these guys look like they're pretty set up. So, anyway, I'm Pat. I paint things here on YouTube. We paint all sorts of stuff. We just got done doing a big run of 40K where we did Death Watch and Death Guard. And we had a Death Wing in the Death Watch with Death Wing, Death Watch, Death Guard. There's a lot of death. And before that, we did some demons. And now we are on to dwarves. I love dwarves. I'm a big fan of dwarves. I used to draw them a lot and all sorts of stuff. When I was younger, I used to love drawing dwarves and fairies and things. And now I like painting them. And so, yeah, full circle. Anyway, if you like these sort of things, like art projects and stuff like that, where people paint stuff live, so you can see how to do it, or just enjoy watching other people do it, give me a like, give me a subscribe. You'll help me get YouTube to pay for my art supplies, which is my big goal. If I could get YouTube to pay, like if I could just enough subscriber money or YouTube money or however it works, I don't actually understand how it works. If I could get to the point where somebody else was paying for all my paint, man, I'd be so happy. Which seems ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. It's the simple things. I'm happy with simple things in life these days. I don't suppose I need all the fancy stuff. So here we go. Let's get on with some dwarves. Still, all the light's always crazy in here. It's like one light is better for filming, and one light is better for me to actually sit and paint by, and they're not the same. So anyway, these guys are great. They look really great. Got a couple of normal dwarves. We even got some female dwarves, which is awesome. You don't always see that. Hey, it's Connor. Hello, short biomass, and also yeah, short biomass. Yeah, I love the lady dwarves though. They're hilarious. I think I have 2 of them. So you know, you don't see that often. You don't see them. I mean, it's more prevalent now where you get to see it, which is great. I really like that sort of thing. So we've got some of those, and then we've got like 3 hero kind of dwarves, kind of like a rogue dwarf, I guess. Thief dwarf, which is fun. This one's kind of fun. He's got a crossbow axe and a lantern. Maybe we'll do some OSL there. Maybe we'll do a little work on that. Show you guys kind of how to make him all come up. It looks like he's got like, I don't know, some sort of crazy drums with a bone mallet for it. I don't know. This guy's kind of wild. And then the hero, I've got the big hero in 2 different poses. This, you know, head on, big deal, and then one where he's riding. I love this. I didn't glue him down yet because I want to be able to paint all the wings and stuff. Same guy riding like a bird. It's a kind of a hornbeak, I guess. Yeah. I think that's a specific kind of creature from D&D, but I forget which one it is. But it's kind of like a D&D kind of creature, which would be great. I think a lot of people like these. And again, these are going to be for these are going to be for sale. They'll go up on the Etsy shop, and we'll take them to shows and things like that. Selling 40K is always interesting. I actually prefer doing commissions on 40K than actually trying to paint them, sell 40K and sell it, because everybody's a critic when it comes to 4K. It's kind of fun, but it makes it a little bit. It's more difficult to sell that stuff. It's better if you just find somebody who likes what you do. That's some unique biomass. I wonder what they'll make as bioforms, right? Probably. Oh my God! Could you imagine a termagant made out of a dwarf or something like that? Like, it's gonna be like or what's the one that really adapts to what they do? The infiltrators, like the leapers and the ones that do the infiltration that really do kind of like, and gene stillers. Like, I wonder what a gene stiller cult would look like with dwarves. Because I wonder if they're gonna do that now that they have, what's the Liga Voltan? Yeah, the Lictor. That's what it is. There's so many of these things. It's so hard to keep. Man. Okay, where's my favorite dry brush? Oh, I put it somewhere where I'm going to be able to find it for a second. That irritates me when I do that. I still didn't get a chance to clean up in here. I meant to do that, but I did not. That's alright. I have other dry brushes. What did I do with that thing? It's all split and weird. It's completely useless for anything else other than dry brushing now. It's an old synthetic brush. And that's one of the things I will say about like a synthetic brush. You can get those things to where they make great dry brushes. Because they'll start to fray after a while. And then once they start fraying, you can really get that going. Now, again, I like doing the little dry brush for a couple different reasons. One, it really helps me see. I am getting to where I can't hardly see shit some days. So it's kind of nice to be able to see what I'm doing. It also starts some of the highlights. So some of the stuff where, you know, it's going to be easier to get that highlight on there now because it's already got one. And you kind of get better at this as you go. Knowing where to stick your highlights, what's going to look best. There's a lot to it. This is why I like that other brush. It'll really get down in those guys, those crevices for you. What the heck did I do with it? Make myself crazy looking for things sometimes. Oh well. I'll put it somewhere. I try to put it somewhere where I'll remember where I put it, and then it's never where I thought I put it. It's always in the other place that I thought I put it, and then I forget which place that is. And you don't need like a specific. You don't honestly need a specific dry brush for stuff like this. You can use a regular brush to do dry brushing, but I definitely like these. You know, this is the Army Painters. They're really not bad. So it's like it's a specifically designed dry brush. And I'll tell you what, it's lasted for a while. I've had it for a minute. I put it through some abuse. This looks like a girl too. I think that is a girl. Maybe I have 3 girls. Or did I already count her among the girls? No, there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 3 gals. That's fun. I like it. Be super careful. I will tell you this, especially with these are resin prints, so be careful on your limbs and anything that sticks out too much. You don't want to get too rough with that stuff, man. It will be bad. You don't want to be pushing on this like that or anything like that. You see, I'm holding the side of the shield. These resin prints, they are a little bit more delicate, a little bit more brittle. You know, I've gotten pretty good at printing them as of late. So, you know, I don't have quite as many issues as I used to when I very first started learning how to do it. But they still are, you know, they're brittle. They're 3D prints. They're made out of resin. But I tell you what, it gets pretty good details out of these resin prints. You know, I go back and forth. If I'm kit bashing, man, all the way plastic. You cannot kit bash resin. I mean, every now and again, you can kind of like maybe super glue some parts that are resin into a kit bash of a plastic thing. But with your plastic stuff, you got a lot more range as far as like, creations and making your own things. Um, and I will say, if it's something that's real spiny, like you're a Tyranid player, I don't necessarily recommend Tyranid 3D prints. The nature of Tyranids isn't gonna lend well to the problems with resin. You're gonna end up with a bunch of busted tentacles and cracked spine disease and teeth scissors. My little strong bad coming out. If you know who strong bad is, you get bonus points today. Hope you're keeping track of your points at home, because I don't. I'm a terrible teacher. Hey, no worries, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you, my guy. But yeah, like I was just saying with Connor there, you can different things go work out for different uses. It really just depends on what all you're gonna do. And if you're playing, games at your house, and that's not a big deal. You're playing D&D or whatever, no big deal. But you're gonna be taking models all over the place. You're trying to do like the tournament circuit, or you're a traveling dungeon master. You probably do want something a little bit hardier than resin, or you want a really good case, and you want to make sure you're playing with people that aren't, going to tear up your stuff. Because there's that too. Some people just love to tear up your stuff. And I just love to lose my favorite brush for doing this thing. About to turn this other brush into one. It's already fraying. And it's lost its paint somehow because I don't know how it lost. It lost all the paint on its handle. It's the only one in the set that did it. So like the set looks like they all look like this, right? Originally, but this one it actually shattered. And you can see it starting because these are synthetics. So like synthetics will always, and I've had this brush for years. The synthetics will always start to fray on you. It just happens over time. I had one that really tore up that I used for dry brushing. It was a good one too. Dang it. It'll pop up. I'm gonna try to clean tonight. Well, I can't tonight. My daughter's got to dance. Try to clean tomorrow night. Good lord. Kids keep your kid's schedule becomes your schedule pretty quickly. If you're an involved parent, I guess. I guess if you're not that involved, then some people don't have the ability to do that, which is understandable. And some parents probably just don't because they don't want to. That's terrible. Although to each their own, I suppose. I don't know. I like going to my kids' stuff. I think it's awesome. They're hilarious. My kids are a riot, so it definitely makes it. They definitely make going and watching them do things worthwhile. They're pretty funny. This is a Artisan Guild. Is the make on this? They do some really good work. I really like their stuff. I think somewhere I have like a like a busty beer made to a busty dwarven made thing from this particular company. It's kind of funny. Had to transition between classes. Yeah, that happens. No worries, man. I remember those days. Yeah, I think I'll knock out these and then I'll figure out what I want to do next. I kind of like resin printing because you can, you know, it's so much cheaper and you can print out a gang of stuff and just go. Gives you a little bit of, it takes down the cost significantly to painting large amounts of things. So like being able to paint a show like this where you're painting live all the time keeps you with a constant inflow of stuff as long as you need it. And then, you know, you buy the right kind of licenses and you can sell them, which is what we try to do. Now, link for our Etsy shop is in the description. Is in the description. Anything, of course, anything that's not a commission usually ends up for sale. If it's for commission, it's supposedly like already did sell, if you think about it. It was sold before it was painted. I need to figure out how to put commissions on that Etsy shop. Probably need to get a Fiverr account too. I keep saying I'm going to do it and then I don't. Oh, also, and we have buy me a coffee. If he wants to drop into that thing. A suggestion from some friends and also some of you find posts. And then these shows. Pretty interesting idea, the buy me a coffee, and just like it's like a tip thing. It's like, oh, that's cool. Not that I necessarily need it, but like I said, it's neat. It's neat, and I like suggestions. So everybody keep throwing those in. Keep telling me, kind of, hey, I like this. That was kind of stupid. That's kind of boring. Whatever. Kind of helps keep me thinking about which direction to go with all this. And I definitely noticed how much attention we get on Warhammer stuff. So we'll definitely be back. We'll try to do 40K as periodically. Keep everybody engaged in that. Really, I got a suggestion. Here we go with the Tyranids. I'll have to get a hold of another Tyranid model. I think all mine are pretty much the boring ones left. I don't have any of the fun ones left. A little too heavy there. We'll do some Tyranids again. Eventually I'll have to round back over to that army. I got most of one done. I shouldn't say most. Depends on what size of army. But I think I have close to 1,000 in Tyranids. I have close to 1,000 points, so it's a legit army. I'm out of the combat patrol and into an actual fillable army. I think I have enough. I think I have enough points in Dark Ages to do that too. But yeah, Kind of thinking about doing some Batmans and some Joker stuff. Maybe some superhero things. Those will sell big at the shows. Which is, I mean, gotta always be thinking about how to make more money. That's life for you. If you're not always kind of thinking about, hey, what's the next thing to do to make a little bit of scratch, you're probably falling behind, especially in the States. That new Crusher Stampede looks pretty crazy. That's like I think it's all the big bugs in one box. I wonder how much they're going to charge this year for them. They're going to be expensive, especially here in the States. I think we have a tariff on it, so. Yeah, Crusher Stampede looks good. All the boxes usually look good. The Krieg one looks really cool. Heck, even the Sigmar boxes or Fantasy or whatever it is, whatever it's called now. It seems like they change the name of it every few years so they can redo all the copyrights. But even those look pretty good this year. Damn you, James Workshop! Shake your fist. Oh, James Workshop. They are really, really shysters, man. Yeah, I'm wondering at what that tax is, that tariff on it is. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna look it all up. We should just for, I don't know, we can talk about it on the show, I guess. I was gonna say just for SMGs, but it actually might be something to talk about, because I know we're under a tariff on everything. Yeah, but that's how the way things go, and they'll calm down eventually. As long as we don't have some big stupid war, I'm happy. Happy enough, anyway. Just hope they, like I said, just hope they don't start a silly ass war. Every 100 years, it seems like somebody's trying to start some stupid big war. Last 100 years, we had the 2 world wars, and just hope we don't get into something like that again. But yeah, tariffs suck. I don't think there's anybody who really likes tariffs except for maybe the president. And his guys, his people. Of course, because they're supposed to, they have to. That's the way that goes. But yeah, Crusher Stampede looked good. The Krieg one looked pretty good. But the Krieg stuff looks cool anyway. They definitely, they really have worked on that one. Yeah, they're not. You can say a lot about GW, but their ability to analyze what people are really going to be into is definitely not one of the things that they lack in. They're very on point with that. Gotta love dwarves. Like I said, I like doing this little zenithal. Even if I end up taking the highlight and changing it up as I go or something like that, it gives me that ability to see what the hell I'm doing on this black. I've just gotten to where I can't see like I used to, you know? So having a little zenithal highlight on there can really help me kind of go, oh, that's supposed to be this. Although it doesn't always go that way. Sometimes you get, you know, you're just looking at it for hours going, what the hell is that? Come back tomorrow. I still don't know what that thing is. I'm just going to paint it metallic. I like that all these guys have a tankard on them too. They'd definitely be drinking on the job. And we don't always do this step on the live shows. A lot of times I'll zenithal things and then we'll come back on the show with it already done. But occasionally I like to go ahead and just demo them. You know, even if we've done that a million times, you know, maybe a new subscriber hasn't seen this. They just see it, you know, what it looks like when we've got them all ready to paint. Really need to do one where show you a little bit of priming, but Sergeant Haunted, hello, sir. And or madam. Or person. I did definitely assume. I'm old. We just assume things. It's terrible. I'm not actually that old. All right. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you. Superfly, you can call me Sarge. Oh, there you go. Well, that definitely clears that whole thing up. Well, welcome, Sarge. Good to see you. We got several dwarves here. We're getting their zenithal highlights set up. Biomass all the same. Connor is our resident Tyranid player. If you're a 40K-er, you'll know what that is. If not, it's a bug alien species that devours entire planets. Very much based off the Alien franchise and several other kinds of, you know, different sci-fi insidious bug things from pop culture and literature. It's a quick zenithal highlight. All these guys done pretty quickly too. And you just kind of set up and go and don't fuss about it. It goes pretty quickly. So there's no reason not to highlight your favorite, not to at least zenithal highlight your miniatures. Yeah, you can always do the old-fashioned highlights if you want. They're a lot more difficult. They take a lot more time, and I add them a lot. Even after I've done this, I'll do other highlights. But again, it's such a great way to make sure I'm seeing what I'm doing. Because these old eyes be playing tricks on me sometimes. Just be careful, don't overdo it. Real easy to overdo it. That's why you're seeing me take a lot of it off, or try to take a lot of it off. Down here on my pad, my knife pad as I'm going. And of course, you could do this with an aerosol can, if you just and be done with it. I don't like using those though. To me, it seems like a lot of the times it curves, like it comes in ways I don't want it to. Like I don't know. It's hard to describe exactly what it looks like, but it will get into places I didn't necessarily want it to get into. New to 40k, paying my first Space Marine squad. Sweet. Also got 2 tanks. I love it. If you're interested in Nid's lore, ask. I got nothing better to do. And we just finished up some Deathwatch Marines. So there's our captain. Right there. Really happy with the energy sword and ended up looking really good. There's an ancient with lamenters, pauldron. And these are all Deathwatch. And I get to see the flock too. I ended up going with that grass, like I was saying. It looks great, like a dead grass, and it'll go along with the Death Guard. So that way you've got the Death Guard are kind of in the dirt, and the Death Watcher in the deal. Sweet. Ironic, a long-lived event. I definitely did that as a good joke. It was. I was like, yes, an ancient lamenter. That's funny. He's had to see that man's seen things, terrible things. He's experienced some of the worst 40k has to throw at him. Like, oh no. We've also got a Firehawk in that squad though, so it's like the Firehawks are supposed to be gone. I put some fun stuff on there. The guy who ordered the commission is pretty new to 40k too, so it'll be fun things for him to. Some of his friends know a little bit more than he does, so it'll be fun for them to come by and be like, "Oh my god, dude, that's a blah 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 blah." He'll be able to be like, "Oh really? That's cool." Yeah. Try to make things fun for people, especially on a project like Deathwatch, because you got so many things you can do. And we spent a lot more time painting the Death Guard stuff because it's got there's a lot more details there. And I didn't want, even with the pauldrons and everything on the Death Watch, they still weren't going to be looking quite as snazzy as the stuff that goes with Death Guard. Just because Death Guard's models are so awesome. So I decided to go with really doing some fun pauldrons. I had people shouting them out on air too. We did them live, which I thought was a lot of fun. I love this guy's beard coming out. That's awesome. But yeah, we occasionally do a little bit of 40k. We do a little bit of Age of Sigmar. We do a little bit of D&D. We do a little bit of everything. A little DC work. Like I said, I'm thinking about doing some Batman, Superman's kind of stuff for this next trade show. Because I feel like we'd be able to sell it. Because people are always looking for that sort of stuff, they're looking for the comic book stuff and superheroes, movie stuff. I bet you if I did a busted Indiana Jones, somebody would buy that sucker. Such is life, right? Yeah, it's total canon. Like they constantly get screwed. It's hilarious. They were on the wrong side of the bad app war, and then like it just went bad from there. It's like they got cursed or something. It's pretty funny. Well, making him an ancient in this squad is pretty funny. I don't think that their story is pretty funny. Just to clarify that, the Lamenter story is freaking depressing. it's pretty awful. It's definitely some of the dark part of the grimdark. Like, oh god, and then oh man, do they ever get no? Okay, and never catch a break, huh? All right. I love this shield. Yep, almost done here. Hello everyone, Justin North Adventures. Love it. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome aboard. Painting up old dwarves here. Getting them started anyway. Looks like this one's standing on like a giant's head. I love it. Or a troll head, ogre, whatever you want to call it. Leave that up to people's imaginations. I'll definitely put some paint on him. But yeah, got a nice active chat today. Appreciate it. Anybody got any questions or anything like that? Throw them out there. I love answering questions. If you want to help me get to where YouTube and Google are paying for my art supplies, give me a like and a subscribe. You know, and just enjoy the show. Appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you coming by. Appreciate everybody coming by. So yeah, I think that's the coolest part about being able to do something like this is that like I live out in the middle of nowhere. There's not like a whole lot of people out here, and being able to share stuff on the internet like this really makes me smile. Gives me a chance to like hang out with some people, get a little paint society. I had one going in the city for a little while, but it's so hard to travel back and forth. I do love this because it's, you know, it gives me a chance to kind of show some things to people that maybe don't know how, or talk with people who do, and share ideas and lore and fun stuff. Hey, you totally get it. Rural Michigan's kind of like there's nobody out there. So, you know, you kind of chit chat with people when you can. And it's great, you know. It gives me something to do. I'm a former chef. I had to retire, so now I'm here doing this. Which kind of funny. Originally, I wanted to be an artist when I was a kid, but I had a teacher convince me that I was never going to amount to anything as an artist. So, you know, the math teacher. So anyway, I gave up on art and I became a chef who was a kind of art chef. And now I had to retire from that, so I do this. Oh shoot! Yeah, you real roll. That's roll. Hey, you're out there where there's more deer than there are people. I'm almost at world. I think we're at 3,000 in the town I'm in, which is, you know, that's big. That's highfalutin. Alrighty. So much. Literally from Franklin Park, Detroit. Why did you end up in the middle of nowhere? I mean, Michigan, Detroit, you know, I get that, but moved out of the city to go get in the country. I like it. Little Green Acres action. I'm dating myself there, calling out Green Acres and showing how old I am. Like, oh. Start a new life. Hey, I dig it, brother. I dig it. Yeah, that's definitely a place to do it, man. There's not as many trappings and things going on out in the sticks. And not to say that they're in plenty of trouble. The kind of trouble out there is usually a little bit more mild and more of a fun chuckle trouble, and less of a holy crap, somebody's gonna start shooting up my my house because I cut someone off on the highway. That only happened once, and it was in Las Vegas, just so everybody knows. And I don't know if it was me or if they were just shooting up the apartment complex I was living in, but it was pretty weird. I moved from that condo. That was the first one I lived in Vegas. It was in North Vegas. North Vegas is pretty rough for anybody who's planning to move to Vegas. Well, I mean, it might have changed by now. This was back in 2000s, early 2000s. Yikes, I'm getting old, guys. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got it. I got a nice little garden. It's definitely a way to be. Some people dig it, man, and let them have it. Let them have that city. But yeah, I'd rather till some earth and grow some crops and watch the birds. Oh yeah, man. It's way, way peaceful out in the country. Well, it can be. Some people want to make it a little bit more rowdy than it has to be, but those people are few and far between. Luckily for the rest of us. I don't mind visiting the city every now and again either. I like to have the city where the city is, and I can go see it when I want. There we go. Who's the big daddy? Out where I live, there's no light pollution. Yeah, I love that part, man. Come out here, and you can definitely see a lot of stars. Where when I was living in Vegas, you couldn't see a star. You had to get like way off the strip before you. I mean, I think maybe you could see the North Star on strip. Maybe, probably not really. I'm trying to remember. But man, no, it even out in like if you were out in Summerlin, which was the suburbs, really, you still could hardly see the stars. We were out camping this summer. We went out to the Rockies, southern part of the Rockies. And the kids were blown away by how many stars there were. Because we were like way up. We were, we're not quite to tree line, but we were pretty high up camping one night, and they were like, "Wow." But even down in southern New Mexico, we were down at what's that? Brantley. There was still gangs of stars. Kids loved it. I'm always trying to remember which way your light source is coming from here. We don't necessarily need to get this side of this jaw so much because it's so much farther down. Yeah, I live out in. I mean, it's slowly becoming not the country, but it's still pretty country. I'm kind of out in the woods of rural Oklahoma, which pretty much my entire state is country. Kind of hard to count Oklahoma. It really kind of hard to. Yeah, the whole state's pretty much rural. We don't have a city big enough to really. Like, it thinks it's a big town. I guess you could call it a big town now that they've won an NBA championship. We'll let them have it there. We'll let them have that one. Oklahoma's finally a big city. It has a championship from a major sports organization. They finally made it. Good for us. It still acts like it's a country town. Even our city is pretty country. Kind of like Denver. If you ever go up to Denver, Denver feels like a big city, but it also feels kind of country at the same time. Be careful. That's the one thing I don't like about these big makeup brush things, is they really don't get into those nooks and crannies very well. Come back with that other brush. Be super careful. These things are brittle. Yeah, honestly, that might have been his autocorrect corrected that one. Connor, I think that's the more Gaelic spelling in it. The old world. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and I gotta find my other one so I can get into these crannies. My makeshift one. It's funny, the ones I bought to test on the show aren't nearly as good as the dry brushes I made out of beat up old brushes. And this is where you have there's something to be said for, an airbrush or a spray can, because you'd be able to and be done with that. We don't really try to do airbrushes here on the show. I've said this several times, say it again, just because not everybody has one and they're loud. So I don't like yelling anymore. I did that for a job for too long. I don't really want to do it anymore. So I don't want to fight over talking around an air compressor. And maybe that's just me being a little selfish, but I mean, we do want a little bit of work down here. We're not gonna get crazy, right? We're not trying to make it super white. Just get us to where we can kind of see what's going on, so we don't overlook anything. All right. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, I like that piece. He looks great. Right in an axe beak. Should paint the axe beak to look like a chocobo. And that's the disadvantage of resin pieces. Okay, so these things happen. They happen a lot. I was wondering if we were going to have to do this or not. I thought we probably would. That bit is a little too big. Do not recommend you do this with a Dremel. I don't like airbrushing. For me, it's dry brushing, washes and edging. Yeah, there's uses for it. If you're trying to like do a big piece or you've got a lot of miniatures to paint through, I see why you'd want it, and I have one. I use it too. I use it all the time. But it's more for like you said, large projects. If I'm having to paint like 1,000 points of Marines, in a matter of days, I'm gonna go ahead and do that because it's just gonna be better. But if I'm doing a little bit, if I'm trying to get a finer look, then I don't use. I knew that shit was gonna happen. It's just so thin right there, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful pose, but you just knew it was gonna be a problem. Be careful how much pressure you put in here. Really, really just kind of letting the drill do its work. And this is why I like doing these things live. Because, if I were doing this on a edited video, I could just edit this mistake out. And you never even know I screwed up. But if you do it, where people can see how to fix the issue, then it feels more helpful to me than somebody who just shows you how to do something and they're always perfect. Because that's just not reality. That's not reality. Everyone knows that. Things just don't go that way. That's not how it works. Maybe a little bit deeper here. That's the wrong drill. What's that? Which one I just said? Fit in there like it was fine. Yeah, probably the same size bit or super close. Or just felt like it was slipped in there. Like I said, there's a lot of. So you've been working on a snotling army, yeah. Yeah, no worries, Connor. This is normal. If you haven't had something break on you while you were messing with miniatures, have you really done miniature work? But I do appreciate that. You're feeling for me, my friend. Okay, you see, I got hold of this side, and I'm gonna put pressure on that side. So I want that little piece of metal. Yeah, lots of my minis about damage. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. It's normal to have your stuff bust, break, crack, you drop it. Like, that's life. I don't actually like some of the, because yeah, I don't want to say I don't like. Okay, I didn't want my show to be the kind of format where we only where it looked like I was Superman or something. You know what I mean? I wanted it to look like, hey, we're learning, we're growing, we're making mistakes, we're getting better, and that way everybody could kind of get better with me. Kind of as I got back into this, because I had quit painting for a while. Oh man, it's gonna be difficult piece things. Just a little bit more taken off of it. Gotta figure out which way it's going. Going this way, right? And I'll probably need to let that set up. Hey, I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great one out there. Thanks, Justin. All right, so we're gonna set this rod inside its foot. I'm gonna let that dry because that's really what we need to do. I'm trying to rush it, and I really don't need to. We're at the end of the show for the day anyway, so I'm just gonna get it set in there real good, and then we'll attach this tomorrow. I'll just let that set up for us. Don't worry about it. Then, yeah, it just fits right in there. There we go. Actually figured it out. Oh well, we'll let that dry. We're gonna come back to it. It's definitely not one to stay on. So we'll come back. And you know, great thing about resin is, worst comes worse, if we can't get it to fix, then it just becomes, you know, parts for terrain or whatever. Yeah, figure out the things to do with it, kit bash it out or something like that, or we'll just print another one. So, you know, that is actually the coolest part about there. That stuff moving everywhere, and it's making me crazy. It's my technical ineptness. It's showing again. Ha! I figured it out. There we go. Now we're good. All right. Well, thanks everybody who stopped by. Always great to hear from you, Connor. Really appreciate you. Sarge, wonderful to have you, my friend. And Justin, Northern Adventures. Really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks to everybody who gave us any likes and subscribes and all the comments. You guys are awesome. I like doing this just because it's fun to have people to chit chat with and hang out and say hello to, and especially some of the folks are starting to become regulars around here, and that's really neat. And so thanks, appreciate it. Be good to somebody. Be good to yourselves. Be good to people you don't know. It helps. Promise. Spread that good out there, and we'll be back tomorrow with more dwarves. We'll talk to you later.